So let's talk about the Hexblood. Tell me all about it.
Sure. Where wishing fails, ancient magic can offer a heart's desire, at least for a time. Hexbloods are individuals infused with eldritch magic, fey energy, or mysterious witchcraft. Some who enter into bargains with hags gain their deepest wishes, but eventually find themselves transformed. These changes evidence a hag's influence, ears that split into forked points, skin in wild shades, lengthy hair that regrows if cut, which doesn't all hair regrow when it's
Well, I mean,
and an irremovable
wait,
living
standing
crown.
right here. No,
Along,
I do shave my head every day, but
I mean, it's just. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be
how
making fun
dare
of
you?
things as I am reading
How
things.
dare you?
I know, right? I can't help it and be editorial. Along with these marks, hexbloods manifest hag-like traits such as long life, dark vision, and a variety of magical methods to beguile the senses and avoid the same. While many hexbloods gain their lineage after making a deal with a hag, others reveal their nature as they age, particularly if a hag influenced them early in life or even before their birth. Many hexbloods turn to lives of adventure, seeking to discover the mysteries of their magic, to forge a connection with their fey natures, or to avoid a hag that obsesses over them.
I love it. I sense the presence of Mr. Jeremy Crawford.
No.
So
No, you don't think?
I've never not played a game with Jeremy where there wasn't a hag involved, and I've never not talked crap to that hag, and I've never not regretted it that moment. But I can't learn because I'm an unchangeable force. But yeah, this is really fun and this is charming because this brings me to something I feel very personally about goblins. I don't feel like that goblins. I feel like goblins are fey. That's how I treat them in my games. I think
Okay.
goblins are fey-like creatures, and that's how I like to play them. And so I'd be very tempted to play a goblin fey using the hex blood on top of this as well. Um, and I love that you have this very creepy hag, touch of the fae creature. I think it's fantastic and lovely and fun and very evocative and very Crawford-esque. And there's a great bunch of Ben Petrosor and a bunch of other people helped design this stuff, but it's I really love it. So we've got Heir of Hags.
I would love if we're both wrong and someone else did this,
It's
knowing that they were
possible.
going to show it to Jeremy Crawford and
Right.
he was going to be so happy.
How do I easy sell this?
How do I make Jeremy Crawford happy?
Hags.
Hold on a second. I know how.
So, Heir of Hags. One way hags created more of their kind is through the creation of hexbloods. Every hexblood exhibits features suggestive of that hag who magically inspires their powers. This includes an unusual crown, often called a Elder Cross or Witch's Turn. The living garland, like part of the hex blood's body, extends from their temples and wraps around behind their head. It serves as a visible mark of the bargain between the hag and the hex blood as a debt owed or a change to come. I like this quite a bit, and we saw this a little bit with the Fey Wanderer Ranger artwork that we see in Touch This Cauldron of Everything, is that Ranger is human, but they have horns. They have like ram horns. I feel like this is an extension of that. And anyone who's ever seen Farscape, there's a lot you can do with this particular flavor, right?
I mean, I recommend everybody go watch Farscape, but I will always recommend that.
Always recommend it. So this is kind of packed stuff, though. This is very Warlockian, if that was a word.
It is now.
So doing this to an NPC is fine. If you wanted to do this, and I think they make a note of it, don't do any of these things, frankly, to a player unless they want to do this stuff. So becoming a hag. Hags can overtake a ritual so irreversibly transform a hexblood they create into a new hag, either one of their own kind or that embodies the hexblood's nature. This requires that both the hag and the hexblood be in the same place and consent to a lengthy ritual. Circumstances most hexbloods shun might come to accept over the course of centuries. Oh, they are shunned, I think. The wording here is a little weird. Once a Hexblood undergoes this irreversible ritual, they emerge as a hag, NPC no longer under the control, and this is NPC no longer under the control of the player, because you're a hag. Hags are dangerous. So if you're a full vampire, probably not getting to play that vampire no more.
I do like that it's written right into the rules that both have to consent to the ritual, because that is a pretty major thing that's going to happen to your character, whether you keep control of it or not.
And we've played the slippery slope in our own games. We always try to make sure that like consent is huge, also agency. So because bad things will happen to you in D&D, you should have the option to reverse those bad things, especially if you don't know what's happening at the moment. Again, Lauren Urban playing Orcarial Directs and the Simulacrum. You gotta give them a way out. Them's the rules.
I would like to think, at least with these origins, that unless this is something that's happening in the middle of a game, I think a lot of people are going to be building this into their backstory, building, because these are going to be character options. I think it would be a little harder to impose this as a surprise on a character. And once again, you're going to want to,
especially for this one. This one's especially unusual.
Yeah, but if this is something a player is looking at, if you've got Todd in your game and he's all about becoming a Dhampir, then, there's going to be paths for that. And also talk to the other players in the game so that they know, all right, you've got someone in the game who wants to be a vampire type character. Maybe think about how your character not just might react, but might be okay with it. For a variety of reasons. It doesn't have to be now you've turned evil and now we have to have this conflict. Maybe it's you're a happy Hexblood. Maybe it's, everyone's super happy with it. So
we are running short on time because we are rather taken with this Unearthed Arcana. So let's can you blow through some of these origins real quick for us?
Oh, jeez, you want me to go fast? All right, fine.
I know.
Seeking a child, your parent made a bargain with a hag. You are the result of that arrangement. So if you want to be the kid from Into the Woods, Fae kidnappers swapped you and your parent's child. A coven of hags lost. Yeah.
Very Irish.
Oh yeah. A coven of hags lost one of their members. You were created to replace the lost hag. That's all right.
Ooh,
imagine
that's scary.
That's not scary. That's a ton of pressure. Imagine being told, all right, you're being turned into a hag, not just any hag. Sally over here, like, we can't find her. You're the new Sally. That's a lot. That's a hag. That's when you go through it's like, hey, we're going to do this ritual. And your Hexblood goes, nope.
We see this in a lot of stories too. We see this in a lot of stories where you're like, oh, you're part of the coven. And you're like, I don't want to be part of the coven.
Or I want to be part of the coven, but I want to be part of the coven as me. I don't want to replace somebody. I want my own shoes. You were cursed as a child. A deal with the spirits of the forest transformed you into a Hexblood, now free of the curse. Also, I will interrupt this for a moment to say we are giving away a copy of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Now, in chat, please pay attention to what the moderators in chat are telling you to do in order to enter for that giveaway. Meanwhile, back to the Hexblood. You begin life as a Fae creature, but an accident or crime changed you and forced you from your home. A slighted druid transformed you and bound you to live only so long as the scarred tree bears fruit.
Sacred tree bears.
I mean, both of those work, but
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
That's a harsh druid right there, turning you into something that doesn't normally hang out with druids. When a druid says become a hag, oof. You make a deal with the hag, but they twisted your words and transformed you. Because hags. You're a child of the wild. Animals and mysterious whispers were the only family you ever knew.
Snow White.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's run through these traits real quick. We got Hexblood traits, everybody. You are both Fae and humanoid. That means you're going to be pinging on some paladins' radar. Your speed is... Oh, wait.
Let me ask right there, because we did have the question in chat. Do you think Hexbloods should be confined to the Fae creature type or have options like the Reborn lineage, which we haven't gotten to yet? But yeah, Reborn gets a chance to be a bunch of different things.
I think you are adding this creature type. But it's your game, your table. So talk to your dungeon master, and maybe some other things work. Like, well, if you were an aberration as well. But you are buying into this change. This is a Fae. So
makes sense to me.
dark vision. You got 60 feet dark vision. You have Fey resilience, which gives you advantage on saving throws versus being charmed, though not frightened, which is interesting. We've got Hex Magic, which is great. So if you like to play a trickster, this means that you can cast Disguise Self and also the Hex spells using one of the traits Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. We see this a lot. But on top of this, you can cast these spells if you're a spellcaster later on and get further use of those spells.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice if you're a sorcerer. This ties in very, very well if you're playing sorcerer characters because you're adding to your spell list a little bit and not having to worry about things so much. So, I think they get Disguise Self, but they don't get Hex. And Hex is solid.
Yeah.
Magic Token, this is where things get creepy and weird. Oh my God. Unless you play Warforged and then it's just funny and weird. Then you just pop out an eyeball. As an action, you can harmlessly pull out one of your nails, a tooth, or a lock of your hair. This token is imbued with magic until you finish a long rest. While the token is imbued in this way, you can use an action to send a telepathic message, much like ascending, where you have only 25 words. This works within 10 miles, and if the person is within the same plane of existence. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Here's my thumbnail. I'll talk to you later.
Here's an arm hair. Hold on.
Here's a tuft of my armpit hair.
I mean, it just says hair. It doesn't say a lock of hair.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be a lock of hair. You can make this real gross. A toenail, do what you want. Pop one of those teeth out. In addition, while you're within 10 miles of the token, you can use an action to enter a trance-like state and actually see who has this thing. You go blind when you're doing that to everything happening around you, but you know what's going on with them. So that's so creepy, and I love it.
You know what I was thinking when I was reading about this? It was less creepy and more I've just lost her name from Dark Crystal, the one who could remove her eye.
Agra.
Yeah, like that's kind of what I picture. It's a very literal version of this.
Yeah.
But if you want to go less the super creepy and more like the charming creepy, that's kind of the flavor that you can give it. But her just there we go. Got to put this down right here. Keep a literal eye on things.
Well, and being a Warforged, imagine being a Warforged and just like handing something. And get over to you like a piece of your finger.
No, imagine being a Warforged and handing over a lock of hair.
Ew, I don't like that.